Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how to make this card. Now I saw somebody online do this many years ago. Her name escapes me. I will try and put it up on the screen if I can remember. And I saw it on Pinterest, but I remember seeing she'd uploaded it onto the what was then the Trimcraft website. And so the fold, I'm not sure what this fold's officially called. So I've called it a 4x6 diamond tent fold card because it's a tent fold and it's got like a diamondy bit on the front. But I don't know what the official name is. So if you do know, please put it in the comments below. I've used my own papers. This is from the Pink Posies pack from last year. So if you go over to my Etsy shop, I think it's still available. If it isn't still available, I'll make it available again, but I think it's still available. So yeah, go and check that out. And then the little foliage heart die and the banner was actually a Coco Rosa Studio die. So if you use my code ICED20, then you'll get yourself 20% off. I'll try and put a link up here in the right hand corner and also in the description below, so you can click on it. Just don't forget to use my code to get yourself your discount and help me out. Yeah, and that's about it really. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this card, you're going to need a piece of base card that is 6x12. If you don't have a 12-inch length, when we've done all the folds, I'll tell you what your measurements, what your score lines need to be if you've got a A4 length, which is 11 3/4. Okay, so we're going to do our first score line at 4 inches. Then we're going to do the next one at 8 inches. Then we're going to do the next one at 10 inches. And then what we want to do is at 9, we just need to make a mark. In fact, I'm actually going to make a little pencil mark instead of a notch. A little mark at 9 and a little mark at 11. And we want to do that again on the other side as well. So I'm just going to flip this round. So it's basically going to be 1 inch and 3 inches. Okay, so that is what we got there. And then if we get rid of the scoreboard, and I just need to bring in a cork board. And then what we can do is we can do our next few lines. So before we do that, let's just quickly fold these. So this one we need to fold. I've got quite a thick card here, so I'm having to be a bit careful because it is really quite thick. So that's your mountain fold at your 4 inch. Your 8 inch is a valley. And then your next one as well, your 10 inch, is it? Yeah, is also a valley. Okay, so we've got that. Then what we want to do is bring in your ruler and a scoring tool. And you're going to score from that first mark that you've got there. So this is your 1 inch, this is your 3 inch, if you're going this way around. From that mark down to this mark is where you want to score. So you're basically doing like an X across that score line. And then we're also going to do the same going the other way. So you want to go from here across to there. And you should, hopefully, all of these score lines should all meet, you know, cross this middle one. So you want to make sure that that happens. So you're going to cross that like that. Okay. So that there is all your score lines done. Now these two both need to be mountain lines. Now what I'm going to do, because this is thick, I'm just going to get my ruler on and just use that to bend it up against it, just to make sure that we are actually getting a good score line that doesn't end up going a bit wonky. And then we're going to do the same over here. So just bend this up against this ruler like that, and then just give it a good burnish. And then what we need to do is just crease down that line there, and then just fold it flat and kind of line them up, because you might end up having to kind of fight the card a little bit at this point, because if your diagonals aren't quite right, which mine aren't quite right, then you might end up with a little bit of a problem. But just try and do your best, really. Doesn't matter too much if it's not completely right. Mine's not spot on, but it will do. Okay, so it's a bit wonky, but it doesn't matter. So you should end up with, when you fold that round, see how wonky that is? Mine's a bit wonky. It'll just have to be wonky. I can't seem to straighten it. It's a bit off. But anyway, it's just because of my diagonal folds. So if you've got the A4, if you've got 11 3/4 length instead of a 12-inch length, then what you're going to need to do is, because this whole section here is 4 inches, which means that you'll be left over with 7 3/4 inches instead of 8. And so instead of scoring at 4, you want to score halfway at 7 3/4, which is 3 7/8. So instead of scoring at 4, you'll score at 3 7/8, and then hopefully you should end up with that. But it just means it won't be quite 4 by 6. It'll be 3 7/8 by 6. But it'll be close enough. So you just have to adjust your layers accordingly as well. So then what we're going to do is we need to put some layers on this, some mats and layers. So we're going to need a mat layer. So I'm going to go as if we're doing a 6 by 12. Okay, so if you're doing an A4, just make them slightly smaller, like an 8 smaller. Okay, so you're going to need one mat that is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that's going to go on there. And a pattern that's 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. So that's going to go on there. And then on the front, you're going to need a piece that is 1 3/4 by 5 3/4, and we'll come to the cutting of it in a minute. But for now, if we just stick these down, and then we'll come to that bit in a moment. So if we go on with this piece here, which is the 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. Now, I originally thought that probably if you made a mark at like 7/8 up here and then 2 7/8 here, that would work. But actually on my little practice one that I did, it ended up slightly wonky. So I think what I'm going to do is lay this on where I want it to be, and then I'm just going to draw it on, because the thing is that whatever measurements you try and do, if your lines are ever so slightly dodgy, then they're just not going to work. So you can, by all means, you can go ahead and mark at 2 7/8, because that is halfway, so that mark won't change. And then it's just a case of then following from there down to there, trying to make sure that your border is about right all the way down. And I think probably, I think maybe there, we'll see. If I cut it not quite enough, then I can always trim a little bit more off, but I can't go the other way. So to make sure I don't move it. It's not quite central, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So we're just going to do that, and then I can tell you a measurement once we've done it. So at the moment, that measurement there is it's just over 3/4, because there's 3/4. It's just literally a 16th over 3/4, and this side is 7/8. So that side is actually 7/8, and the other side isn't quite. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead anyway and cut this out, and then I'm going to use scissors, and then we'll lay it on and see how accurate it is. Right, so I've cut it out, so let's lay it on and see what we think, and that is pretty good. So yeah, that works. So whatever measurement, I mean, that was about 3/4 on this side and just slightly over on that side. So I don't know, make of that what you will. Because when I did it before, I did 7/8 on the side and 2 7/8 in the middle, and it didn't quite work out. So yeah, there you go. Now, I don't want to be putting pattern paper on there as well, because I really don't want to be, figuring that out. So what I thought I might do is I thought I might emboss it, and then if I use an embossing folder, I thought that might work. So I went ahead and just embossed it using the embossing folder. I'm not sure where this is from. I've had this for a while now. Just so it wasn't quite so plain. So I've just done that, and then that's just going to go on there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. Right, so that's what it looks like. So that's looking quite good. I quite like that. I wasn't sure if that wasn't going to be enough, but actually it's fine. I think it's fine. Then what I did was I went ahead and cut out. So there was a Cocoa Rosa die. I haven't got it to hand, but there was Cocoa Rosa die that I'm going to mention in one of my when I do a craft haul video, and it cuts out this. So obviously you get the hearts, which is the waste cup of that, and then you also get this banner as well. And I've stamped a get well soon of my own on top. So I just thought, what about if we stuck the heart on there like that, and then put these sort of on here, maybe offset them slightly or something, and put them on the front, and have the get well soon going through the middle. In fact, what I might do is I might just go with, let's go with that. Let's back it onto there, I think, like that. And then we can have the get well soon going through the middle. I think we'll do it like that. So I'm going to go ahead now and just stick. Now I've actually got tape on the back of this, so maybe I'll just do the heart on its own. Although I did quite like it with a bit of a shadow. It's just annoying because obviously sticking it down now with that, I can't really do it. So I think we'll just go with that. Got this white Uniball Signo pen. And I got these, a long time ago. I don't even know when I got them, to be honest with you. I think I got them either at a show, might have been at a show, or it might have been from an art, an art place. I'm not sure. I think, or online. I think I got them from a craft show. Right, so I've just gone around that with the pen. I had to give it a bit of a scribble to start it off. I don't want to knock it now, so I'm just trying to be very careful. Hopefully it'll dry in not very long. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this down first, and then we can then line that up with the heart on there. And next I'm going to go ahead and add this heart, which hopefully will be dry by now. Just going to add that on the front there, and then add the banner across it. And there we have the finished card. And obviously that's still wet, so I need to be careful. But yeah, it's more or less, the heart's not quite lined up with the heart on the back. Let's see if I can just smooth you that over a little bit. Yeah, that's more or less, it's more or less lined up now. So yeah, so there you go. So obviously there's lots of things you could do with this. You could have little scenes on here. You could really go to town. I could have put the get well soon here, but I quite liked it on the heart because I thought the heart looks a bit plain otherwise. So so yeah, oops, got to be careful because it's all still wet. It's all still wet. Yeah, so there you go. So go and check out my Etsy shop. This is the Pink Posies pack. And go and check out cokerosestudio.com. Don't forget to use my code ICED20 to get yourself 20% off. Yeah, and please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!